Every sourdough starter is going to behave differently based off of environment, the flour you're feeding it with, the water you're feeding it with, and the temperature it's kept at. But here's an example of an active sourdough starter that is ready to bake with. You can see it's at 76 degrees Fahrenheit. I fed it with a 1:1:1 feeding ratio, which is equal parts of starter flour to water in grams. And it almost tripled within a 3 to 4 hour window, which is ideal. With higher feeding ratios, it's going to take a lot longer to hit peak. You can see that there's webbing on the side when I tilt it, and there's tons of bubbles and activity all along the top, the sides, the bottom, and this just indicates that there's a lot of CO2 that has built up within my starter, and it is going to make my bread rise. It will slightly dome on the top and then start to dimple and concave when it's at peak. When I tap it on the counter, you can see that it falls in the middle, but there's bubbles that are rising to the top. And again, that is just the CO2 gas that is built up within the starter. There are more bacteria multiplying than dying at peak, so this is when you want to use your starter because you will have the best results with your bread. Another good indicator that your starter is really healthy is if it floats in water when it's at peak. I use 100% hydration to feed my starter, and I use all-purpose flour, so this works for me. But if you're using a rye or a whole wheat flour exclusively, it can sink and still be active and healthy. Because AP flour and bread flour trap CO2 easier, it should float.